review of the Champions League game week 5 today. Now, of course, the Champions League games took place in midweek, and I must say it was some game week. We have a lot to discuss. Some big clashes, some big results, some big shock results, and some very meaningful ones too, as of course we are now past the halfway mark. So we're gonna go through all of the games. Obviously there's a lot of games, so some of them I'm just gonna briefly touch on, but mainly focus on the big ones. But yeah, let's begin. So Ajax 0, Benfica 2. Got from Samuel Dahl and Barrero. I don't know how you say this guy's name, but it was a battle of, well, it was essentially do or die for both these teams here. Both teams had to win this game to essentially keep their hopes alive of staying in the Champions League. I believe both teams had lost all of their games up to this point, but Benfica came out on top, a 2-0 victory. A really nice goal actually, that Dow goal. Mourinho gets his first Champions League win with Benfica against Ajax, who I believe are still managerless, unless this guy, he's assistant coach, yeah. So he still haven't got a manager. They are pretty much done now, unless they pull off something crazy. I don't know who they have left in there. Their game's got Karabag and Villarreal and Olympiacos. To be fair, they maybe could win those games, but I doubt it. They are pretty much done. I believe, 0 points, right? 0 points, the only team now without a point. Galatasaray 0, Union Saint-Gilloise 1, goals from Promise David and a red card for Unya. So a bit of a shock here actually. Union Saint-Gilloise go to Galatasaray and beat them 1-0. Galatasaray have actually been pretty strong in the Champions League so far, and Union Saint-Gilloise have, well, to be honest, not been very good. So I think most of us were expecting Galatasaray to definitely win this at home, but credit to Saint-Gilloise, and they actually had some decent chances. Played pretty well and arguably were the better team in this one. Really nice victory for them. Disappointing though for Gala, because if they had won this, they actually would have been on 12 points. So they would have been in a great position to get top 8, but I still think they'll be fine in terms of top 24. I just don't think they will get top 8 now. I didn't mean to do that, but sure. Dortmund 4, Villarreal 0. A brace from Seri Jurassi, goal from Karim Adeyemi, Daniel Svensson, and a red card for Juan Foyth. Now this was a really entertaining game. It's a really weird one actually. A lot went on. So the first goal from Jurassi, arguably could have been ruled out for a handball. I think it was sort of inconclusive, to be honest. It's really hard to tell if it actually hit his hand or not. Then Juan Foyth channels it in a Luis Suarez with a handball on the line to stop the goal. Gets sent off. Jurassi takes a pen, misses the penalty, but then scores the rebound. Then Thomas Partey tries to clear the ball, and he clears the ball onto Adeyemi's knee, and it goes in for 3-0. Then Dortmund get another penalty. Jurassi's off the pitch, so Fabio Silva takes it, and he misses as well. He hits a bar, and eventually they actually score a normal goal in the 95th minute with Svensson. So absolutely wild game here, but Dortmund eventually come out on top, and a good win for them, who have been pretty good in the Champions League. That is 10 points now from 5 games. Okay, so Chelsea 3, Barca 0, goals from, own goal from Jules Koundé, goal from Esteval, goal from Leon Delap, and a red card for Ronald Araujo. So the first of, I'd say, 2 mega clashes this week, and Chelsea comfortably beat Barcelona 3-0. A massive victory for Chelsea in this game. And honestly, we battered Barca here. Barca had one chance, like literally right in sort of like the first 5 minutes with Ferran Torres. This one, I don't know how he missed it. I don't know how he missed that, but literally from that point onwards to the 90th minute, they didn't have a sniff. They didn't have a sniff. I mean, this was 0.4 xg, so like you take that away, and they had 4 shots the entire game. 0.3 xg, right? They did absolutely nothing, and we were sensational. We were all over them. We actually had 3 goals disallowed in this game. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Now, of course, we got helped in the second half with the red card, but I mean that was in the 44th minute, and as I said, we battered them from the point on from that Ferran Torres miss. So we were going to win the game anyway. Quite frankly, when they had 11 men, they were getting cooked by us. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with that performance. What a win. And I mean, we need to talk about Esteval because wow. You see, when Esteval first joined, when we first signed him, but it was talked to like Messinho, and he was really hyped up. I wasn't really buying into the hype because I was like, look, I've heard it all before about these Brazilians, and of course he's still very young. I'll believe it when I see it. And again, when he first joined, I was like, this season I'm not expecting anything from the kid. It's his first season in Europe, coming from Brazil. He's 18 years old, barely speaks English. I'm not expecting him to just get chucked in the deep end and swim. But boy, has he swam. I mean, wow. This kid, look, maybe it's going to be dramatic, but genuinely, I don't think it is. I haven't sort of felt this excitement watching a Chelsea player since Eden Hazard, in terms of when I look at him play, whenever he gets the ball and you can feel it in the stadium, everyone gets up because they're like, something's going to happen. He's going to run at his fullback. He's going to try and make something happen. And we saw it with that goal. Absolutely cooked Kabasi in the Barca defence and slotted it in. And all game, as I said, every time he got the ball was just so positive. And to be doing this at 18 years old, first time in Europe in the Premier League for Chelsea against Barcelona, it is sensational. It is absolutely superb, and like I said, I really haven't felt sort of this way about a Chelsea player since Hazard, right? Like, obviously Cole Palmer is great, but there's this buzz which I get with Esteval where I look at him and I'm like, we genuinely could have like a generational talent on our hands here. And that was something which I didn't sort of think we were actually going to get when we signed him, but now I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh man, like he actually is the real deal. He actually might be a generational talent here, because he absolutely showed up Yamal. Obviously it still has a long way to go to, I guess, even reach Yamal's level right now, but speaking of Yamal, he got absolutely locked up by Marc Cucurella, incredible as always in these games. And yeah, great win from a Chelsea perspective. Very pleased going into the Arsenal game on Sunday, which is a massive game. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Absolutely over the moon with that. From a Barca perspective, that was absolute shambles. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything worse. As I said, from that Ferran miss onwards, got absolutely cooked. Yamal was pocketed. Vermeer and Lever did absolutely nothing. Araujo, what on earth is he doing for that red card? Defence all over the shop. Rafinha and Rashford came on and did absolutely nothing. It was a mess from a Barca perspective. Manchester City 0 by Leverkusen 2, goals from Alejandro Grimaldo and Patrick Schick. So, a shock here as Leverkusen come away from the Etihad with a 2-0 win. Yeah, a little bit of a shock in that is back-to-back losses now for Manchester City. And, well, it says here he was punished for rotating Guardiola. I think that's exactly what happened. I don't really know why. Maybe it was arrogance, complacency. I don't know, but he literally played his entire B team for some reason. Like, none of these players, even the goalkeeper, are starters. I don't know why he did this. Maybe he underestimated Leverkusen, but I would have thought, after a disappointing loss against Newcastle, you want to get back to winning ways, get some confidence back in the team. So you go strong and you try and get a nice win to lift the mood a bit. I mean, this has done the complete opposite because it's backfired here. They've lost 2-0 and now you're looking at back-to-back losses. City might be in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah, completely backfired. I don't know why he did that, but did not work. Shout out to Leverkusen though. Need to give them massive credit because a great win here. Alejandro Grimaldo with another goal. He's been amazing this season. And actually, I think Leverkusen, because of all the turmoil at the start of the season with Den Haag, I think a lot of us sort of thought, oh yeah, they've fallen off. Shout out to Kasper Hjulmand because he's turned them around. They're actually in really good form. That is 4 wins in a row now. They're third in the Bundesliga, and obviously they're not what they were under Xabi Alonso, but they're a good team. They really are, and a really, really well-deserved good victory here for them. Okay, Marseille 2, Newcastle 1, a brace for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and a goal for Harvey Barnes. So Marseille come from a goal behind to beat Newcastle here. And yeah, was completely deserved in this game. They were by far the better team. I mean, they got helped out by Nick Pope, who don't know what on earth he was doing for that Aubameyang goal. Don't know what on earth he was doing. I think a lot of people are calling him to be dropped now, which I think is fair because I actually did think Ramsdale, when he signed, was going to be the number 1. Pope has kept his spot, but I think Ramsdale might need a chance now because Pope just too many errors from him. Shout out to Aubameyang though, back in a brace, actually could have maybe even got a hat-trick in this game. He had a couple other chances, but good win for Marseille. And Newcastle, their woes on the travel on the road continue. They just don't win games away from home. Honestly, one of the worst teams in the world when it comes to away form. They are awful. Slavia Prague 0, Athletic Club 0. I mean, not really going to speak about this. Athletic Club could not hit a barn door. So many chances, couldn't put them away. And I mean, they're just a rubbish team. I think both of these are getting knocked out. I've got to go back to this one. Bodo Glimt 2, Juve 3. Goals from Blomberg, Fed, Obenda, McKennie and Jonathan David. So, a wild game here as Juve come out on top. It was really back and throw. Wait, that is not right. I know it's late. Give me a break. Anyways, back and forth is what I tried to say. Bodo Glimt definitely the better team in the first half. But then second half Juve were much better. Did really, really well. Took the lead 2-1, but then gave away a penalty in the 87th minute. Bodo Glimt think they've levelled it up. They have a chance in the 90th minute. Huge block from a Cabal. Right at the end, they go down the other end and score in the 91st minute. Jonathan David. North Americans, McKennie and David turning up in the UCL for Juve there. was the star of the show. Came on in the second half and completely changed the game. He was absolutely cooking Bodo Glimt in this game. Absolutely superb, and a really big win for Juve, their first win in the Champions League this season. Much needed as well. Napoli 2, Karabakh 0, goal from McDominay and own goal from Jankovic. For Napoli, might bottle this for Conte curse. Looked like it was going to strike again. Højlund missed a penalty, and eventually, though, took some time. It was very scrappy, but McDominay, the most clutch player in the world right now, gets another important goal. Napoli get the win which they needed, given how bad they've been in the Champions League this season. Copenhagen 3, Almaty 2. Pretty crazy game here. Copenhagen were 3-0 up, and I mean, Garrett made a little late comeback, but yeah. Paphos 2, Monaco 2. A late 88th minute own goal gives Paphos a point here. Shout out to David Luiz, though, who managed to score in the Champions League, I believe, age 38. The second oldest goal scorer in the Champions League ever, which is pretty cool. Arsenal 3, Bayern Munich 1. Goal from Jurgen Timber, Noni Madueke, Gabriel Martinelli and Leonard Cole. Oh, this was the other sort of clash between two big teams here. And again, the English home side comes out on top. It was another really good game to watch. 3-1 victors Arsenal in the end. And I've got to give Arsenal a lot of credit here. I thought the game was pretty good actually. Bayern had a couple moments, but overall Arsenal were definitely the better team. Limited Bayern to barely any sort of real clear big opportunities. And Arsenal created a couple good ones themselves. Set pieces, they were all over Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich really couldn't go. Bjorn Timber obviously got the goal from that, but generally speaking they looked poor. But yeah, I have to give Arsenal massive credit. I mean, I think they are undisputably the best team in the world defensively. Without your best centre-back, you rotated your left-back and you locked it down. Arguably the best attack in Europe right now. It's pretty impressive. It is pretty impressive, and your Arsenal looking really good. Eze, again, really nice. I don't know what the hell Neuer was doing for that last goal, but either way, good from Martinelli, nice ball from Eze. And yeah, Madueke getting on the score sheet as well. After coming back from injury is nice, and like Chelsea, it's a great way to prepare for Sunday, which is a big game in terms of a Premier League title race. So massive victory here for Arsenal. Well done to them, definitely deserved. Now Bayern Munich, I'll give a shout out to Leonard Cole, 17 years old, scoring against Arsenal in the Champions League. Sort of like Estelle, he looks like the real deal. He looks really good, and not just the guy. I think his overall play was actually really good in this game. He was very good in the first half, so he was great. But besides that, this Bayern Munich team were poor. They were really poor. Like I said, I don't know what Neuer was doing for that goal. Set pieces, they were all over the shop, and they looked poor defensively. Harry Kane got absolutely locked up, did absolutely nothing in this game. The attack just couldn't really get going. And yeah, poor game for Bayern. These sorts of games, I think, again, it's the league phase, so don't read too much into it, but I think this was maybe a reminder that they still have work to do in these sort of big games against other elite teams. I'm still not fully convinced about Bayern, but they did come up against a really good team, and Arsenal got the better of them, but I was expecting a little bit better from Bayern given how good they've been this season. Okay, next up, Atletico 2 into 1, got from Julian Alvarez, Jose Maria Jimenez and Peter Zielinski. So away they are. I think that is 10 wins. Hold on, 3, 4, 5, sorry, yes, 6 wins in a row. I think it's 10 wins at home now for Atletico this season. They started the season off really poor, but they are really starting to click into gear now, and and Atleti are at full throttle. They're a force, they really are, particularly at home. So well done to them. For Inter though, like I said, I think they actually played pretty well, and they can be disappointed they didn't come away from this with anything, because they were actually decent. Frankfurt 0, Atalanta 3, a goal from Lukman, Edison and Charles de Ketelare. So 3 goals in 5 minutes in this game for Atalanta, and they kill Frankfurt in the second half. First win for Rafael Palladino, the new Atalanta coach. Good to see Lukman back to his best, and CDK as well. And who knows, if he can sort of get those guys firing again, then Atalanta could be good. But I mean, Frankfurt are we'll get on to another contender here, but they might be Frankfurt the worst team defensively in Europe right now. They are awful. Look at this. 5 games played in the Champions League and 14 goals conceded is ridiculous. But yeah. Okay, and here are your other contenders for the worst team defensively in Europe. Liverpool 1, PSV 4. Wow. Goals from Dominic Szoboszlai, Ivan Perisic, Till, and I don't even know how you say this guy's name, Drusek, with a brace. Wow. I mean, what more is there to say? I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy. Liverpool are. You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna pull that up. Back to back 3+ goal losses. 3-0, 3-0 and 4-1. In their last 3 games, they have lost on aggregate 10-1. What? 10-1. And now I'm sorry, but I quite frankly don't care if you've won a league. I don't care whatever the circumstance is. But when you manage a club like Liverpool, you have to get sacked for that. I actually don't think, like, I said in the other video in the Premier League after the Forest loss, I was like, I don't think Slot is complete to blame it, but when you manage a club like Liverpool, you can't have this. Maybe if you're managing a club like West Ham, even then, there's going to be outrage from the fans. You manage a club like Liverpool, you lose 3-0 at home to Forest and 4-1 at home to PSV, you gotta go. No, like, generally you have to go. You cannot recover from that. It's one thing what they were doing before. This was bad. 4 losses in a row. But at least you could say in these games, well, 90th minute goal from Palace, penalty for Gala, 90th minute versus Chelsea, late goal for United. Now you're getting slapped up week in, week out. There's no excuse that can be made. Liverpool are a absolute mess. They are a joke of a team right now. Honestly, any team, West Ham are going to be licking their lips that they get to play this Liverpool team. They are shocking. I mean, Canati and Van Dijk are genuinely up there as one of the worst centre-back pairings in the world right now. What the hell is Van Dijk doing for that penalty? What the hell, another Canati stinker for the 3rd goal. McAllister again is up there for being one of the worst midfielders in the world right now. this midfield in general is up there for being the worst. You know, I think it's the third goal. The guy's just standing there, letting the guy dribble up and play a through ball in. Curtis Jones, don't even get me started on that guy. Liverpool are a joke. They are rubbish. And this right now, so far, honestly, has probably been, when you consider expectations of the start of the season, this has been one of the worst seasons I can remember from any team in a long time. These guys were the champions. They broke the British transfer record twice in a window. They spent like 500 million, and they've just lost 4-1 at home to PSV, 3-0 at home to Nottingham Forest. Like, name me another club that embarrassing, please. That is just a joke. Now, I actually don't think Slot will get sad. I reckon he'll get the West Ham game. But if they don't win that West Ham game, I think he's gone. Shout out PSV though. Shout out PSV. What a win for them. Right, Olympiacos 3, Real Madrid 4. A mental game here. Goal from Jaguino, Taremi, Algarbi, and 4 goals for Kylian Mbappe. So Mbappe scores his second quickest hat-trick in UCL history here. I think it was 7 minutes. Just on the 7 minutes hat-trick for him. Scored 4 goals. Yep. Madrid were actually clinging on to the victory. I mean, I don't know what more he could do, but an absolutely wild game. I would say, look, shout out to Olympiacos who put up a real fight, but I don't know what their tactic was in the first half. Why you would play a high line and allow Mbappe and Vinny that much space is beyond me. Because they were getting killed by that. Vinny, absolutely sensational in this game. His assist outside the boot, wow. But yeah, wild game. Another wild game. PSG 5, Spurs 3. A hat-trick for Vitinha, a goal for Fabian Ruiz, and Pacho, a red card for Lucas Hernandez, a goal for Richarlison, and a brace for Gola Moani. I mean, that Wednesday was one of the best days in UCL in a long time. That was absolutely wild. I mean, this game here, you have Vitinha of all people scoring a hat-trick, really good hat-trick as well, by the way, 2 fantastic goals. You had Gola Moani against his own club, scoring a brace and an assist as well. He is literally on loan from PSG to Spurs, hasn't done anything in a Spurs shirt, and then goes to Paris against his own club and puts in a masterclass. You had a crazy red for Hernandez, don't know what the hell he was doing. Elbow Xavi Simons in the face. Yeah, absolute stinker at the back for Romero for that Fabian Ruiz goal. I mean, this game had absolutely everything. Spurs bottled it twice. It was great cinema. But I will say, as much as Spurs collapsed, this was actually probably what Frank needed in terms of they went toe to toe with PSG and actually played really well in large parts after such a bad loss against Arsenal. This is what they needed, and maybe I know they lost. It was sort of bad circumstances the way they lost, but maybe I think some Spurs fans might come away from it like, you know what, we actually played all right there, so we can build a little bit of confidence from that. And finally, Sporting 3, Club Brugge 0, goal from Guenda, Suarez and Trincao. Bit of a shock here actually. Fair play Sporting, they are doing really well, because Club Brugge have actually been quite good, but Sporting 10 points from 5 games, they are doing well. Right then, so that was the Champions League round 5, absolutely wild week as I said, and So now the only team without a point, Villarreal and Galatasaray have 1. Olympiacos and Bodo have 2. There. And we might as well look at the player stats. Kylian Mbappe is running away with it right now. He's got 9 goals already in the Champions League. In, I don't know, I think it's 5 games. Yeah, 5 games, right? 9 goals in 5 games is crazy. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the games. Let me know yours in the comments below. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Consider subscribing. And I'll see